What is up, Voodoo Tribe? Long time no see. Coming back at you guys with another book review, and this go around we are going to be reviewing a highly requested memoir, and that is Down the Drain by Miss Julia Fox, okay, the brat herself.
The 33-year-old sharing a raw and real account of her tumultuous life in her book, Down the Drain.
You're a survivor.
Yeah, like I actually should have been dead like 10 times over.
For those of you guys that are new, we like to dress up like, you know, the topic of the day. I actually started reading this book way before the whole brat phenomena started hitting, right? But I was outside. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I have no excuses. I was outside actually having a brat girl summer, so I didn't get around to reviewing this book, but I am so happy to be able to come on here and share, because this is wild, okay? Make sure you guys grab your wine, your water, if you're sober. But regardless, you need to put some headphones on, because this is about to get raunchy.
Surrounding my like semi-Catholic upbringing, you know, being Italian.
So first we're gonna start off with Julia's childhood, okay? So Julia was not born in the United States. She was actually born in Milan, Italy. So Julia was born in Milan. Her mother is of Italian descent. Her father is American, and she kind of just went back and forth between Italy and New York. I believe her father owns like a boat that's kind of a house. Like, if you know, you know. Very interesting living going on there. So she officially moved to America, the States, when she was around like 5 years old. She came here with her dad. She does describe her parents as being very distant, very cold, very emotionally absent.
You kind of can't miss something you never had, you know, like this is just what I know. And it almost feels like awkward when we're trying to force it. It just feels like I just hate it. Like I'm like, I don't see the point of it. I just don't see the point.
Mainly just treating her like she doesn't exist. She does have two brothers, I believe. I know she has other siblings. She doesn't talk about them much in her adult life in this book, but in her childhood she does mention how, you know, her and her brothers would see like her parents arguing and fighting and stuff like that. It was traumatic for her. One of Julia's coping mechanisms that she mentions throughout the book, but I noticed started in her childhood, was running to the bathroom and turning on the hair dryer.
Well, I sleep with the hair dryer on. Some feedback I get is mixed about that.
Quite loud, hair dryer.
I like the white noise.
Quite hot.
I've been doing it since I was like, maybe I want to say like 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah.
And I haven't had any fire. Occasionally it'll just burn out though. Like it'll just like kind of stop working. You know, you like what you like.
So I don't even have to tell you guys how much of a fire risk that is, but just like, I just wanted you guys to see how deeply this traumatized her. Like the need to dissociate was just like, girl, they have this on My Strange Addiction. Like, this is serious. Her dad is a character, because on one end he cares for her, but on the other end it's kind of like, I care in the sense like this I own this thing. And it would look really bad on me if this thing got misplaced or you know, that type of vibe. Like, he didn't really care for her. He was very short with her, spoke to her any type of way as a child. He did not take care of this girl. One thing that stood out to me in the book was she said there would be days where she had to use the bathroom in a litter box for a cat. Like, because there was no toilet paper in the house, the plumbing didn't work, like, or she was just stuck in a room all day. Like, it was pretty abusive. Like, that just stuck out to me the most. So notice I keep saying dad, 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 because the mom is still in Italy at this point, right? They're just doing their own thing. Finally, the mom comes over and, you know, the dad makes it up, makes it look all nice. He gets a little apartment, right? Making it look like he was on his shit the whole time.
Grew up in Yorkville. When I tell the story of my life, I just say Upper East Side because people don't know what Yorkville is.
Rentals in Yorkville are significantly lower than the rest of the Upper East Side, the West Side, and the Village. The difference in price is as much as $1,000 a month.
But Yorkville actually used to be a very working class, like mom and pop type of neighborhood, like a really good neighborhood to raise your kids in, kind of.
At first, honeymoon stage, her parents are doing good, you know. They actually create her youngest brother in the mix of it all. Like, they were in some honeymoon shit. But then, you know, they started beefing. And once they started beefing, the mom was like, I'm taking the youngest son and I'm going back to Italy. Now, Julia's on her own again with her brother and her dad, right? So because of being alone for so long, she starts to venture outside. She said she would sneak out her bedroom window, the room with the damn litter box, girl, and would, and that's traumatic as shit. Like, I'm not trying to joke about that. Like, that's crazy. She would leave out the window and she would go and play with some neighborhood kids in the building and stuff like that. At this point, she is around like 6, 7. Really, in that whole childhood span, she was just in private schools, you know, in the city. And she would just have little misadventures with friends. Mainly, she would befriend upper echelon people's children so that she can go to their house, have play dates, stuff like that.
Like, obviously, like, there was projects and there was like other things and drugs and a lot of drugs and whatever, but there was a clear disconnect between the Upper East Side kids and the Yorkville kids, and the Upper East Side kids did not fuck with us. Like, they thought we were poor.
And it's sad. Like, I low-key resonated with that with her. Like, I wasn't hanging out with no rich people, but when like your parents are too preoccupied and then you go and like create your own little family, and it's just so sad when people have to resort to that as children. Like, survival mode things, trauma things, perks of living in the city. She was cool with a lot of affluent people, a lot of Wall Street children, and some of those people would have vices like alcoholism, things like that, but for some reason they still had this apartment to their name, or like this building went down in their family. So just lots of different characters she should not have been around at that young of an age. Like, she started smoking the devil's lettuce. This is all under the age of 12, mind you. She's smoking on that salad, girl. She's smoking ciggies. She's just becoming completely Americanized to the point like where her mom gets like, her mom is just not very nice to her either. Just very like, you're looking very American, like you're looking very sleazy, just things like that. And her mom, I think, was like a model or something. So she would also get on her about her weight, because even as like a younger prepubescent girl, Julia says she was kind of like shaped, like she's Italian, and her mom would like often shame her about that. So she just felt very insecure in her own body in this period of time. But at the same time, she wanted to like lash out. So one of the things that I thought was really freaking insane, Miss Ma'am said she got nipple piercings when she was 12. Who pierced you? Who pierced you? Like, and then what was this, like the 90s? So maybe, you know, but I don't know, girl. That's just crazy to me. I couldn't imagine somebody, a piercer. If you're a piercer or a body model, like, please let me know in the comments below. Like, I could not imagine. I would feel like I'm about to, like, Chris Hansen's gonna bust in the freaking door. Like, I know she didn't have any boobs. She said she was very curvy, but I know she didn't have no, like, there's no way, bro. Like, there's no way you didn't know that was a kid. Like, don't get me wrong. My mom is a little bit older than her. My mom is like 10 years older than Julia. And she did tell me, growing up in New York, she got her little nose piercing when she was 13, right? But the nipples, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, somebody needs to get arrested. Like, what the fuck? And then another thing about the dad, he just gave me weirdo teas too, like on some like, there was a phase when the mom was gone or whatever, you know, she over here getting nipple tattoos running the street. She says she became like the mother of the house, started getting groceries and stuff. And at this, I just thought that was really odd. And then her dad's behavior was very odd. Like, he would also go into the role of her being the woman of the house. She's not even 13 years old yet.
Something I realized being a parent, and it was like, it hit me like a ton of bricks. It was that Nobody sets out in life and says, I'm going to be a shitty parent. It happens because we're parenting in a society that's built for capitalism, and we're miserable and it's hard. So I think just having more grace for bad parents, like my own, it kind of made me look at my own and be like, damn, okay, I get it. This shit is really fucking hard. It's testing every single one of my limits. I haven't eaten, I haven't slept, whatever, I get it. I get it now. I really do. And I'm not saying I'm a bad parent, because I literally give 100% to my son, but it's fucking hard. And the fact that they are gonna be, in some states, forcing this on people scares the fucking shit out of me, because this shit is so hard that I'm almost shocked that they just let anybody do this shit. But now I figured out, they make money on all of us.
Then she started hanging out with this girl who was in her school or whatever, and they just clicked like this. That's another thing with her. She has like these very, very intense friendships. Very intense friendships. Like, the way she talked about her friends was so poetic. I could tell she was one of those people, even into adulthood, I could tell she's one of those people who, when she calls someone their best friend, their other best friends get jealous. Like one of those where it's just like she's everybody's best friend type of thing.
Describe female friendships to me.
Female friendship is like finding your real soulmate and feeling like you can show every part of yourself to this person and they won't judge you and they'll love you unconditionally, and there's no ego, there's no like weird insecurity thing happening, which happens a lot in like hetero relationships. It feels like we're supposed to be teammates, but we're like playing against each other. And that's what I found in my romantic relationships. Whereas like with friendship, it really feels like we are on the same team. And I feel like it's just the best ever. And it's like a warm, fuzzy, happy place.
I'm happy we're friends.
Yeah, I love you.
It's just so poetic and romantic how she talks about her friendships. She meets this girl, they're like this. It turns out her mother starts talking to her father in a sexual way or whatever, right? And he's just blown out having an affair with her bestie's mom. And they're just pretending like it's not going on because they want to say besties. The dad is so weird because he described the two girls, the woman whose daughter he's smashing right now, the two girls, Julia and her bestie, he said they act like the movie 13 but worse. That killed me when I read that in the book. Like, bro, you're weird as shit. Why would you even want that for your kids? Did you really see that show, bro? Or that movie? My bad. Like, it was crazy. But one day they got mad at each other or something. I don't remember how it boiled over. But the mom found out all the way from Italy, and she made him cut it off. She flew all the way back to NYC and just like, yeah, just cut it all off. Like,
and I'm like 16 at the time, okay? So that was the thing. It was her first offense.
So now we are going to get into the actual teenage years, okay? Speaking of 13 and all that. So when she was around 13 or 14, she was actually sent back to Italy by herself to start school because she convinced her mom somehow, because she just wanted to get out of the city. She was very, like I said, those friendships are very deep for her. Didn't even want to be there no more. So she asked her mom, she was like, hey, can I please go to school there? And her mom was like, fine, but I'm staying in the States because obviously your man cheating on you, you don't feel secure. So she's like, I need to stay here and he's gonna help me raise this damn baby. She goes to Italy and she's doing like a host family thing going on. The host family is in a whole other city than where her mom usually is at. The school, I mean, is in a whole other city than where her mom was staying with her grandfather before. So she was like, okay, I need to get you a host family so you can go to this specific school. So boom. Host family doesn't really like her like that because she's looking like this, 13, you know, like at 13, 14 years old, very Americanized, smoking cigarettes. Like they're not really fucking with that. Or she went to Italy. She said her first kiss was with a grown ass man on a couch. A grown ass man on a freaking couch. This man's like 23, 25. He knew how old she was. I just felt so bad for her and like, the vulnerability, like why would you prey on this girl? And if you look at pictures of her, like she looks like a little girl. That's what gags me. Like they were predatory as fuck. So speaking of predatory, when she was in Italy, she did lose her V card to a grown-ass man. And like, he was so weird. He would like lurk around the village in his whip looking for her, seeing if she was at school or whatever. Her host family, there was a daughter in the host family that really did not like her. And she would always be like, ooh, I'm gonna tell, like, if I ever catch him, blah, blah, blah. She went out into the night and like smashed him in public, girl, like outside. And I'm not gonna get into too much detail, but she got into some detail, girl, like, and I'm just like, I don't know, it just blows my mind, bro. Like, these grown ass men really are like this. But the whole village was like slut shaming her, blaming her, saying that she's grown, she's fast, she's too American, because the guy was engaged, like he was about to go, and like nobody's blaming him. So because of that, she got shunned or whatever. Like, a lot of people did not fuck with her. The host family was like so fed up with her, bro, like so fed up. The mom is about to go fly back to Italy, and in exchange they're going to fly Julia back home to NYC for the summer because her semester was up or whatever, the school year was up. Oh, I forgot to mention, Julia, while she was in Italy, met this girl named Veronica. It is so hard to keep up with all these friends that this lady has, bro. Like, she is everyone's best friend. That's all I'm saying. Like, she literally has very blessed, don't get me wrong. She met this girl Veronica in Italy. They were very like this, right? And somehow Veronica just vibed really well with her family as well, Julia's family. And when they did the swapperoo, Veronica actually moved in with Julia's mom to help be like a nanny for her brother, her little, well, not her, but that is her brother, her baby brother. As soon as Julia gets back to NYC from Italy, okay, she's probably like 15, 16 at this point. She looks a little different because the style in Italy was different, and she was that girl at school, so her fashion was, you know, her fashion changed a little bit. But she pulled up and her whole clique had changed, and two of the girls she was cool with were gone, but there was this guy there, and he just took her whole attention, right? And he was this dude, he was like MySpace popping, like, but he was like a druggie, and he was violent, aggressive, just demanded the room. And she said everybody in the room was scared of him, like, and she said as soon as they saw each other, he offered her some El Drugas, and they did some things. And she said that she smashed this boy in front of everybody in the apartment. It was like a studio apartment. She just smashed this boy. Like, she said more things, but again, y'all are gonna have to read, but like, she was very descriptive when it comes to like her encounters, okay?
Walk into a room, who's the biggest, cockiest asshole, like center of attention kind of guy, like life of the party, that's who I'm gonna want, you know?
Why?
I don't know, because it's like, I don't know, I always used to say, like, if it's not like earth-shattering, I don't see the point, you know? Like, it has to be like that level of adrenaline and that like skydiving level of dating, you know? Like, it just has to be insane, or else I just don't want it.
Is that still the same today?
Kind of, and that's why I don't even date, because I'm like, because I know what I like and it's gonna kill me.
I'm talking the first day they met, they went and got like these huge fucking, you see, like, bro, literally this size of this man's name. He got her name. Dumb and Dumber, Bad and Worse, you know? Like, I'm just like, oh my God, this is not gonna end well. Like, you're getting yadded up, girl. What are you doing? So the summer is over, and mind you, the whole time the summer is going on, they pretty much, like, her family pretty much stopped fucking with her for real. She's just messing with this dude full time. And they're really vibing with Veronica, her Italian friend. Like, she's like family now, right? She's the good girl now. So summer's over. Julia flies back home to Italy, home, so she could start school. But this boy, Ace, the MySpace Puerto Rican, just keeps hounding her. Like, when are you coming back? You're mine. Just being crazy as shit. But she just thought that was cute because she's a baby. She's like 15. So while she is doing her school year again now in Italy, you know, even though she's talking to Ace, that's his name, the last switcheroo, so she flew, they gave another ticket instead of giving it to Julia's mom and the baby, they gave the ticket to Veronica so Veronica could experience living in America and like have more opportunities. So Veronica is like really a part of the family now. Somehow Julia gets the money to get a ticket to fly back to New York City, a one-way ticket from Italy. And at this point, she has pissed off her host family. Like, they don't want nothing to do with her because she keeps getting fucked up, like getting drunk with like her neighborhood friends. Because, you know, when you transfer schools and stuff, sometimes you might see your homegirl from middle school. So that kept happening. She getting turned up. They're tired of her. So I cannot believe I forgot this. So I remember where she got the freaking money to get the plane ticket. She lied to her grandfather because I noticed you guys peeped the different households in Italy. The mom and her brother are living with the grandfather. She told her grandfather that she needed to get an abortion because word around the village was she was, you know, doing whatever. He believed her and gave her the money. Another tidbit I forgot to mention is because the host family was so done with her, she was actually homeless for a bit, living in like abandoned houses in the villa. Like, it was crazy. She got her plane ticket, but she did not tell her parents. So her parents think that she is still in Italy, but she is walking around amongst them in Manhattan, chilling with Ace, the Puerto Rican MySpace king. Like, after a little bit of hanging out with him, she realized how abusive he was. I'm talking closed fists to the face, choking her out, being verbally abusive. Whenever she would try to leave, he would threaten her. Like I said earlier, everyone around him was scared, right? Was terrified of him. She got some money and got another plane ticket because she's like, shit, I'm ready to just go back to Italy. I can't do this, right? Tell me why one of her homegirls that hung out with him, because again, he has control over everybody, find this out later, but apparently they get tore up off of these El Drugas, and he records them having escapades with each other. So I think that's really why they're so loyal to him, amongst other things, like you can get your ass beat. But she snitches on Julia to him, talking like, yeah, you know, she has a flight, she has a ticket. And he rips her ticket up. Like, what is wrong with you? That was not a girl's girl moment. Like, that's how you get your fucking ass beat, bitch. Like, I probably would have fucking lost my mind. But I think she was just in shock. Like, what? And then she already knew that bitch low-key didn't fuck with her, because when she came back from Italy the first time, she went to her little apartment, and on the sofa, it said Julia is ugly or something like that. Like, just some childish bullshit. But not cute, boo-boo. That's not cool. So now at this point, they start putting up, her parents, her dad starts putting up missing posters for her ass, because now they're very much aware that she's not in Italy and she's been MIA for months because of this abusive ass man. So, and this whole time she's high on drugs too, just out of her mind, paranoid.
Italy and New York. But for a long time, you write about being swept up in this lifestyle, which Joy alluded to in the intro, of drugs, sex, violence, even revenge. What drove you to such a dark place?
You know, I think that when you're in survival mode and you're constantly in fight or flight, you're not even really thinking about how you're feeling. You know, it's really just about getting through it. And it can turn you into a selfish, cold person.
So you just got missing Julia Fox picture. Like, it's crazy. She is a minor and my girl has a missing poster. It was at a point where bro was gonna turn her in and just get the reward money. Like, it was just crazy. Oh, and icing on top, around this time when she was tiptoeing around the city because she didn't want to turn herself in, she saw her dad's boat and she was like, oh, I want to go on his boat, get some supplies because I'm out in these damn streets. Why was Veronica and her dad... Girl, Veronica was playing the role. Veronica and her dad were together, girl. Like, they were dating. Like, for real, for real. And, like, Julia was in shock. But honestly, bro, I seen that shit coming because her dad gives weird teas. Like, he's weird, bro. Like, why would you even want to date anybody in your daughter's, like... He's just weird, bro. So now she has to like really go in hiding because Ace, the MySpace king, keeps burning all his bridges in a sense. The cops are also looking for him because he decides to go and beat up a minor at school. Because of course he's over the age of 18 messing with a 15, 16-year-old. So girl, he ran out of so many places. He had to go to his mama's house, and his mom is a grade A classic enabler. Like, you could tell that he is the way he is because she doesn't want to stand up to him either. It's so unfortunate when young women go through this phase. Like, unfortunately, a lot of us in survival mode have to go through it. Girl, I was there too. It was not great. When you gotta live with that man and his family, like, no, you don't have to, girl. Like, but then if it's just it'll never be your word, bro. It's always gonna be their word against you. Like, she's literally just like living in this man's room. She says she started gaining weight, she's getting depressed, she's not allowed to leave the house, and he would like get on her on some paranoid shit like, oh, you know, the police looking for you and the police are looking for me because I beat up that kid, so we gotta stay in this room and you can't go nowhere. And he would just like pick fights with her and beat her ass. I couldn't imagine. And she would ask his mom, like, why is he like this? And she's like, oh, well, his dad was like this. Okay, bitch, like, are you gonna reprimand him? So finally, because when you want to hide out at your mama house, obviously the police are going to get you. So he got arrested, and she turned herself in to her parents, and she lived at her dad's house. Then at around that time, I don't know why or like what ticked her off, I don't remember, but something ticked her off once she turned herself in and was living with her dad, where she just told her mom straight up, Veronica and dad are smashing. I don't feel comfortable in my own house. And when I tell you, her mom, just like every time, she don't be there to mother. But if there's a fight, she's one to have it. She will pull the fuck up. Who's fucking my man? Who's fucking my cheating ass man again? Her mom pulls up, yokes Veronica up by everything that she is, and was like, bro, I trust you. You're my family, my son, my blah, 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 blah. And this is what you do to me. And ship that hoe right back to Italy. And her daddy just had to look like the criminal he is. Like, for real. Meanwhile, in the background, Ace, the Puerto Rican MySpace king, is blowing her phone up, having their associates blow her phone up, calling her, telling her what she's wearing on the street, where she went that day, just being a complete freaking psycho. And she's only 16 years old. She's only 16, so you can only imagine how scary that is as a young girl, to think that somebody has all eyes on you like that. I'm talking, she's even calling her dad. He's even calling her dad, talking about, where's Julia? Oh, fuck no. You got me so fucked up. So after a failed attempt at 16, she did get sent to a psych ward. And that's where they gave her a load of diagnoses. They gave her BPD, bipolar, anxiety, depression. They just gave her a whole cocktail of diagnosis, put her on some pills.
It's been very difficult. I have bouts of like great productivity, where I'm like on top of the world and like just feeling like I'm invincible. And then I have moments of like deep, stagnant type of feeling, like I just can't move.
Even in the loony bin, this man is blowing up her line. And it's never like a, hey, how are you doing? It's like, you effing bitch. Like, just psycho. So once she got out of the psych ward, she went right back to partying again. Remember, 16. This is when she finally gets introduced to H. We're just going to call it H for YouTube, okay? And how she got introduced was she just so happened to see some guy selling it and was like, well, shoot, I'll try it. Not really thinking it was going to get her the way it gets everybody else, you know? And she wasn't heavily hooked because she had a friend who like set her straight and was like, yo, like, I don't fuck with people that do that. Like, I'm down to smoke, I'm down to root and tootin', you know, but we don't do that. Well, you know, we say in the South, that is some white people shit. We not doing that, bro. We're not doing that, bro. Well, she finally learned her lesson when she actually OD'd at 17. Her father was just like, you almost died. Like, that's when her dad really showed like tears for her. And she said that stood out to her in her adolescent because he's never really showed real emotion that way. And he was just dumbfounded that he almost really lost his daughter. Like, your daughter was strung out on H in an alley, turning blue. Yeah, it was a lot. So after that happened, she got put on a probationary period to where she had to do certain things or she was going to get locked the fuck up. And one of those things was having consistent income and going to school. So Julia's birthday is in February. The end of the school year is like June-ish. So she turned 18 before the end of the school year. So she spent the last few months of her senior year in high school being a dominatrix. You can't make this shit up.
It's tough because, yeah, like I'm okay, you know, but there's been a lot of damage done, you know, like
level of like confidence you need to have, or like little like, what, bitch? A dominatrix. So how she found out, it was like an ad in the paper. She did an in-person audition and then boom, she was at the dungeon. Now, I don't know why I always assumed that dominatrix dungeons would be like clean. I don't know why that was my first. And I know somebody that's in that life is probably laughing at me right now. Like, I just assumed it was clean because I just think of leather, easy to sanitate or sanitize. Leather smells good too, like, but they're describing it, it's like pissy, girl. Like, everything is just pissy because these men want to get peed on. This book, girl, this book talk about down the drain. I cannot. And she just talked about her escapades working as a dom, a teenage dom, dominatrix, with clientele and stepping on balls, bitch. Like, literally, not figuratively, busting balls.
I had a nose job in my senior year of high school, but that's not really crazy.
I feel like senior year, that was like ballsy of you.
Yeah, I needed to.
So New York, you're like smoking a cigarette while getting your nose job?
Oh no, I actually went out the night before. I got home at like 6 a.m. My appointment was at 9. I got there at 10, and I had so much like alcohol in my blood that the anesthetic wasn't working. So I woke up mid-procedure and I could hear them breaking the bones. It was like like that.
And then there's just like coke falling out.
Michael Jackson had just died too, and like they were talking about Michael Jackson dying, and I was like paralyzed, but I was like trying to tell them I was awake. No. It was actually really traumatic.
I applaud her, like, just, but she did say like it gets gross, like there's fluids. It's not for no soft body bitch. Let's just say that. Like, I commend her, girl. She even got into a little beef with one of the other doms, and she like doo-dooed in her locker. Like, this bitch right here, this is a real ass bitch. I'm not even gonna hold you. She's a real ass bitch, bro. Like, not saying I would put my doo-doo in nobody's locker, girl. I'm not even scooping nothing out no toilet. You got me fucked up. But hey, drugs will do that to you, because what the fuck?
Then it just became this game of, okay, how do I become more desirable so I can get more money?
Now we are going to get into the sugar baby era. You know how like you always wonder, how did they get on? How did they do it? Julia was definitely one of those people for me where I'm like, girl, where'd you get your bread from? Because I know you're not a Nepo baby, from what I can tell. Your mom was a model, but it's like, whose Italian mother isn't? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just wanted to know, like, how did you get on? How did you get on? Especially people who are like muses and socialites. I gotta know. I need to know your come up story. I'm sorry. So we're going to get into the sugar baby era. So there was a common notion in the dom world, in her dungeon, that the young pretty ones usually get plucked up by the sugar daddies, by the high shot callers, right? And that is what happened to her. She named him Rohan, and she said he is an Indian multimillionaire. Okay, so some nosy Nancy's online were playing detective, and I agree with their findings. I think they have found who the sugar daddy is. They've also put a name to multiple characters. I will be using their real pictures. I'm just not going to show their face, because I mean, if she wanted to, she could have put their name in the book, and she didn't for a reason. So I'm gonna keep it cute. But yeah, if you guys do your research, these characters are real people. And yeah, she even had this sugar daddy in a few projects of hers, so pay attention. He saw her, they went out on a date. They didn't do anything physical, but they just had really good conversation. She had her overdose experience, so she doesn't do H, but she still drinks. She still does the I don't know what this man saw in her other than her beauty and her booty, right? But I digress. In the book, they're very mature and they have deep conversations, right? So, you know, there's perks when your bestie has a sugar daddy. So like I said earlier, she has these very heavily emotional friendships, right? But she did have some consistent players throughout her life, and those two got lucky, girl. They was around at the right time. So all three of them, really the two of them, Julia and one of them, started a fashion line. That's who funded it. The SD funded the fashion line. I'm talking, they had the Kardashians wearing it, pre-lip filler, bitch. So she already had the connects to Kim and those things. This man was flying her around. He paid for an apartment for all three girls to live in. That was in Center Park in New York City. Like, she was living it up. She still had her drug problems, but she wasn't on H anymore, so she thought she was, you know, doing something. So like young girls do, she meets a younger, more attractive man in this version of her life, but he is a broke boy, and he's also into el drugas. So she starts smashing this boy in the apartment, and it's just, all the roommates know too, like the girls know, and they're just like nervous because they're like, girl, you're about to fumble the fucking bag. Like, if you piss this man off, we're going to lose everything. And he did end up finding out, and she was stringing him along for a little bit, but it was just too apparent that she had strong feelings for this other man, and the sugar daddy was tired of not getting no sugar or getting half-ass sugar. They also got that money and put it into a club, like a nearby club, so she had partial ownership of a club, so she also had money coming in that way. I feel like she got that idea from the Kardashians, but that's just my opinion. So I can imagine that Rohan just felt like super used because her little boy toy also got a job at the club. At this point, the boy toy is getting a little irritated because he's like, look, I'm tired of competing with him. Like, I can go and be doing my own thing. But in reality, it's like, boy, you don't got no bread. Like, you're literally here because of Julia, but it is what it is. You want to act dumb. So Rohan, the sugar daddy, steps out with a new girl, and everybody starts getting scared, like Julia and her two roommates. So what they did was they gave Rohan an ultimatum. They're like, what you're gonna keep doing, I don't know how they pulled it off, maybe some things got left out the story, but they were like, what you're gonna keep doing is paying this rent, because what you're not about to do is have me on the street. Like, point blank. And he wrote that damn check. He wrote that check to leave her alone. And it worked. So she keeps messing with this druggy club dude. He gets promoted to being a promoter, and like his bumping that usage is getting worse. They're fighting with each other. They're like straight out physical fighting in public. Like, people are seeing them fight each other. She ends up actually getting pregnant by this person, and she went to the club and told them like, hey, I'm pregnant, what are we gonna do? And he's like, what does that got to do with me? Ooh. Girl, she did what a lot of us would do in that situation. That man said he don't want nothing to do with it. Bad. She out of here, popped that bean and moved on. So one night she's at her club, really her club, and she told her co-owners like, hey, I don't even want him in here. I want to be able to come to my club and have a good time. So she shows up at her club, and this dude puts his hands on her like he rocks her shit because she decided to come there with another man. He rocks her shit in front of everybody. Like, everybody's silent, and he's just watching her just boom, watching him just boom, boom, boom up against the wall. The freaking other co-owners actually kicks her out into the alley talking about don't come back. When I read that, I was like, bro, are you fucking kidding me? So she heals, then she goes back because she's like, no, like, this is my shit. Girl, I just would have went to court, like, and just got out of that deal, because what the fuck do you mean? Y'all are all having helping hands beat my ass in public. So she goes back. She doesn't press charges yet. She goes back to, you know, talk to the dude about it, who actually assaulted her, and he assaults her again. And she was like, yeah, no, you're done. And she pulls her phone out and she calls the police right then and there. This man begging on the floor, like, please don't, blah, blah, blah. She called the police and he gets arrested. So because of this arrest, the city, New York City, is just like any other city. Each borough is just like any other city. So because she's born, like pretty much raised in the city, all her mutuals are in the city. Somebody that knows somebody works in the city. This news about this altercation went viral before viral was really like, you know, a thing for real. People were choosing sides on the age-old debate, as old as time. She deserved it. They're both abusive. He didn't put his hands on her. She's a liar. She stay lying. They're both druggies. They both lie. And this sparked the Julia that we know today.
I just kind of follow whatever my gut is telling me, and I just go with it, you know, and even if things don't really end up the way I wanted them to, it's a lesson that you were supposed to learn, or it was something that, you know, if I was supposed to do something and then I failed at it, like, that's great. Like, I was supposed to fail and I was supposed to learn something from it. If an opportunity presents itself, like, and your gut is telling you to do it, just do it. And if things don't go as planned, like, it was for a reason.
So now we are going to get into the artist era, okay? This is how she got her little, not her little, but this is how she got her spark. So she has all this money still from the sugar daddy and everything, and she still has like Birkins, things like that that cost money, Cartier boxes, Cartier rings that he got for her that she is able to resell and have cash all the time, right? So what she did is she decided to use this thing that was supposed to be used to make her feel ashamed and like all this shit, right, to her advantage. Because these people over here trying to threaten her with cease and desist just because the news is asking her story about getting fucking beat up at her own damn club by her crazy ex that they're not disciplining, right? So they're trying to sue her, cease and desist her for telling her own story. So she just felt silenced, like she had been gagged. Oh, and the icing on the cake, this dude took her dominatrix ads from high school and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna blast these. We're gonna blast these everywhere. Just watch, you're disgusting. All this stuff, just basically shaming her, slut shaming her, calling her gross, just saying who's gonna believe you, who would believe somebody that does stuff like this, like really shaming her, right? And she decided to reclaim it. She got all of her dominatrix pictures. She even got her ID, like showing how old she was to show like, no, I was of age when I did this. Like she got some glue, some other photos, and just made like a scrapbook, like a very original scrapbook. And I'm only saying this because I'm not gonna hold y'all. The people that give famous for being famous vibes, they're usually not talented. So when I see like, oh wow, she actually has talent, like I've seen this book, it is amazing, right? Like it's just amazing to know the context behind it, to know like it's empowering for her, you know. And then I've seen her other pieces, which we're gonna get into later. Amazing, tells a story about a time period. We'll get into it. So what she does is she uses her money. She has a homie in New Jersey and they print about maybe 100 copies. Then she has another connect in New York. His name is Andrew Richardson, and he gave up his booth at the NYC Art Book Fair to sell her books, and every single book ended up selling for $20. She printed 100 copies. Every single one sold, and then they made rush orders or pre-orders. A lot of local bookstores, things like that, coffee shops wanted to put in their own orders as well. So she was finally racking in her own money, and she was profiting off of her own trauma. Like she was like, no, you're not about to make a coin off of me. She even did a Dazed article, and it actually crashed their site, which is, like I said, viral before viral. Just imagine being the it girl of your hometown, and your hometown is fucking Manhattan. Like that is just, that's why I'm like, she is really that girl. Like it's crazy. Because of her releasing the dom content of her showing nudity, all of that stuff, she did get hit up to do Playboy's last fully nude shoot. Hugh Hefner himself wanted Julia on there, and she did it, made history, looking cute as well, looking very cute. Then she self-published 2 more books. The first one is titled Symptomatic of a Relationship Gone Sour, Heartburn, and Nausea. And that book is all about the Puerto Rican MySpace king relationship. And what she did was, that's what, she's very, very talented, very before her time. She screenshotted the abusive texts he would send and put it all in there, or like her with like a busted lip or like things like that to show how toxic the relationship was. Handwritten letters, phone logs of him blowing up. Like, it just showed how as women, it's not that easy. Like, there are some people that are very, very overbearing that you can't just block them. They will call you from somewhere else. They'll send you mail. They'll have people watching you. Like, she could not make friends in the real world because they were so enamored by his clout that they would spy for him. Like, they would be like, yeah, I'm with Julia, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was that bad. The abuse and the control was that bad. That got her a lot of notoriety. Those photos got her a lot of notoriety. But one of them is very infamous because it shows her using. Julia would have very little times where she would quit, she would get back on it. She would quit, she would get back on it, right? At this point, she wasn't on it, but she did have photos of her on it. So yeah, there was this one photo, and if you know, you know, Azalea Banks tried to throw it in her face, like, years later, like, ho, is this you? Like, bitch. When it's like, Azalea, I know you was fucking with her, but we're gonna get to that later. But yeah, the second book was way more, in my opinion, disturbing. It was giving Terry Richardson, it was giving Harmony Korine, like, kids vibes, Gummo vibes. And
So we're actually sitting in one of the installation pieces for the show that you're just doing. Tell us first the title of the show.
It's called PTSD.
We're going to get a little bit more into the details of that and what it's all about. But before we do that, you've done so many different things.
Yeah, and just kind of trying to like find out where I fit in, you know, who I am. I write almost every day. Yeah, I'm still exploring.
Right, your writing is a very much part of the installations and the work you do, photography and so forth. But do you see yourself pursuing the writing in other, let me say, more traditional ways of writing?
Well, you know, I've actually written like a full memoir surrounding my like semi-Catholic upbringing, you know, being Italian. So I actually already written it, but I'm just not ready to put it out yet. I think it's very graphic, and I have to mentally prepare to do something like that.
If you can say that you want people to come away with from the show.
Just, you know, not to be ashamed of anything that has happened to you. Learn how to spin it and make it work in your favor. Like, I think that I spent a lot of the time like suppressing and trying to hide and cover it up, and then it just came to a point where it was like, you know what, I just have to like let it go, like just take the Band-Aid off. Yeah, exactly. And it's definitely benefited. Like, I would say that from the trauma that I was dealing with during my time in Louisiana, I can say that I'm like fully like over it. So it helped.
What she did was she went to New Orleans and she just stayed there with some of her friends who also did H. In the beginning, she would not do it with them, but you know how it is. You stay around somebody too long, you're gonna end up doing it, especially if you're an addict. So that ended up happening. She ended up relapsing, and that whole book is very interesting because it's like a time capsule of the time in New Orleans. But it's also shows like she's always been this queer, I can't explain it. Let's just say our girl's always been down. Our girl's always been down. Like, that book is very, very queer. There's men hooking up. She is hooking up with a girl off Backpage. She hooking up with one of the girls. And it's funny because it's talking about Azalea, and we're gonna talk about Kanye later, but she was like, old girl is trying to hop on that brown D, and it's like, girl, she I don't get racist tease from Julia. Like, even reading the book, she doesn't really, like, she'll say like, oh, this person was Dominican, or oh, this person was Italian, but like, she didn't really get into it. I don't want to say she's a I don't see race as person, but she wasn't giving, oh, I need to try this out to say I did it, like on some fetishy stuff. Girl, you're in New Orleans. You're not about to get a white girl off Backpage. It just is what it is. But yes, she got a girl off Backpage, and they took pictures and everything. Like, think Lana Del Rey on H. That's what that book is. Speaking of Lana, on some even weirder stuff, the two guys that were featured in this book are actually part of a group called Salem. I've never heard of them before, but apparently they're very popular. she didn't just do a stop in New Orleans. She also did another stop, linked up with them. And she did mention in the book hanging out with musicians. What's weird is there's discourse about this online too, but one of them is now dating Lana Del Rey. And I guess she's trying to be in her backwood era too to get some influence the same way Julia did. But yeah, it's just very odd seeing this man interact this way with his cousin, and now he's with yeah, it's just very odd. I don't know. It's the PDF is online for free, not the PTSD one. No, the PTSD one is online for free, but the other one, there's not that much. During that trip, Julia did OD, and it scared her, and like I don't know, it was scaring me because the way she was talking about it, she's like, sometimes it's just a black tunnel and there's no light. I'm like, girl, like, please stop. Like, please. Like, I'm hoping that I don't hear of Julia Fox not being on this earth. Like, I know now she has a baby to live for, but I'm just like, bro, you could not have been here so many times. Like, that's scary. But as people do when they get close to death, they usually make light of it. And she did an exhibit called R.I.P. Julia Fox, and she painted on a silk with her own blood. I don't want to know where the blood came from. I have a few guesses, but that's wild. That's wild. Okay, that is wild. Artist era. And that's why I'm like, I knew she had to have a sponsor or something, because how do you do all of this, right? Like, what are you doing? Like, what?
Uncut gems.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like things like that.
So now we're gonna get into the uncut gems. The uncut gems era, okay? So if you know Julia Fox, you know Uncut Gems, and if you're like me, that's like the main thing that you know her by is her character in Uncut Gems. She actually got the job, or got cast for the position because the screenplay writer met her in a coffee shop when she was working at a coffee shop for a little bit before she was with Rohan, the sugar daddy. She had to work. They were just chatting it up, and he was like, yeah, I'm writing this movie called Uncut Gems, and you know, I could definitely write that part for you. 5 years later, he calls her up and is like, hey, I've been hearing your little buzz around the city with your exhibits. I think the movie is finally done. I want you to be the main character, the leading lady in, well, not the main character, but the leading lady in Uncut Gems.
I was able to convince the movie gods that, that role was for me, and then movie magic was me.
So she did claim that the acting came completely natural to her on set, just like something she's always done just from masking in real life. They did change the character's name to Julia to name specifically after her, because the original character was named Sadie, and that's Adam Sandler's real daughter's name, and he just felt really weird. You know, Adam Sandler W, because good for you, bro, for speaking up, being like, nah, I'm sorry, that's weird. My daughter got that name, and I ain't trying to do all that, bro. She said it was awkward kissing Adam Sandler because when she was in her isolation period with the Puerto Rican MySpace king, and she was in the room, they would watch Adam Sandler movies together, and like, I don't know, it just weirded her out. And the fact that he was older than her too. She said that, but she was like, during the filming of Uncut Gems, she did lose 2 close friends. She lost one of the women that she was friends with, that she was in New Orleans with, using H. One of them overdosed. Another one of them, I think, unalived themselves. And then her closest friend, who she met in AA, after she OD'd in New Orleans and was like, okay, I'm about to do this movie stuff. I need to be better. I'm going to get into AA. She met a friend in AA who she called Juliana. And that was like that was her girl, dude. That was her girl. And she ended up passing away during filming. And she was very much on the set. So like a lot of people felt that loss, right? And all these people are passing from overdoses because now we're getting into the era of fentanyl, right? So once Juliana, the person she met in AA, passed away, that's when she's like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not dibbling and dabbling. I am completely done with H. Like, I can't. And she low-key blamed herself for not being around as much. because she had just started talking to her baby's father around this time on the set. Man, it was just sad. Like, you could tell she really cared for her. But again, she had these deep friendships. Like, this one was different. Like, this girl really had her back. Like, she was not just a friend, but she was like a fan of her work. Like, it was a different type of support. So now, because of Uncut Gems, Julie is no longer like the local cool kid. She is now everywhere. Julia Fox is that girl. Everybody wants to know, who was that girl on Uncut Gems? Like,
Please.
Are you usually with the same marker, Pop Julia?
Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
It's such an interesting, complicated world, and you acquitted it beautifully. So how did that come together for you?
Well, I didn't really prepare that much because I was told by Josh Safdie not to take acting lessons. So I basically just like went to the gym a lot and ate well.
The actors or anybody trying to get into cinematography, it's real work. You got to prepare. You got to be on your. The thing that I like about this is that everybody brought it, but you had a standard that Adam was setting, but you didn't want to let that down. And you felt that, you know? Is that facts?
Totally, yeah.
Ever since Uncut Gems, my life has been totally crazy. I live out of a suitcase, so I need a lot of outfits for all the stuff happening right now.
Your first movie, this big movie with Adam Sandler.
I mean, it's a miracle.
It is.
It's a miracle. It does not happen. So I'm really grateful. I feel like a chosen kind of.
You literally were chosen
Yes.
by the directors of the movie, writers and directors.
so now she's getting offered like little indie roles around LA. So she moves to LA, gets her little apartment. Her homegirls that she has the fashion line with helps her move her stuff. Like, she's having a completely shift in life ever since doing Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems.
You know, whenever I would like meet a guy or date a guy, I would always think like, oh, like, okay, I could have a baby with him. Like, that was always my thought, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It was never like because I was in love or anything, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get it. You were literally thinking about like, how can I build a family and a life?
Yeah, like I was like,
you were like, oh my God, I'm so like,
yeah, like
taken
that was
by
kind of
you.
always my end goal.
Yeah.
So I think when I had Valentino, it was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't need to put up with the bullshit that comes with being around you guys anyway, you know? But
do you want more kids?
The only time I think about having more kids is just if I'm like, oh, I don't want him to be lonely. I want him to have like a buddy in life, you know, to go through life with.
But it's so much work.
Yeah, but it's so much work. And I'm like really doing the work.
During this LA living time, the pandemic hit, and that guy she was talking to, dating, that was on the set of Uncut Gems, they decided that they're gonna link up and live together throughout quarantine in New York City. So she gave up her apartment and moved back to NYC with him in his like shitty ass little apartment. She said it had mold in it, girl. Hot girl down. This man they done had a quarantine baby together, child. They done had a quarantine baby together. And she said this man was abusive, verbally abusive. As soon as she told him that she was pregnant, he completely was like, I don't want the baby. I don't want the baby. And she was shocked because he was one of them sweet talking dudes that'd be like, I want to have your baby. So she thought he was being dead ass. And no, he was not. He said, I don't want to have no baby with you. She said the only reason that she kept the baby is because she looked up the due date, and the baby's due date was Gianna's birthday. So she was like, okay, this is fate. I need to keep this baby for me. Like, F what he got going on.
But when I found out I was having a boy, I was like, okay, well, I guess it'll be okay because, you know, now I don't have to like teach them about all these horrible things in the world and have to, you know, spend my nights, you know, awake in bed thinking about, are they safe? Are they okay? Or, you know, because there's predators on every corner. And I thought having a boy would be easier. But actually, I think that's the mistake that a lot of parents make because you do have to teach your boys not to become those predators. Yeah. So now I'm reshifting my mindset.
So she made the decision that a lot of people probably wouldn't make, but these are special circumstances. So I get her decision, and hey, the baby is here today, happy, healthy, and loved. So here we go. He did say the whole pregnancy was horrible and he did not help at all. He was just being very verbally abusive, very distant, going out to the club, acting like nothing is going on, like there's no baby to be had. I personally feel that even though she ultimately made the choice to keep the baby, I feel like that man trapped her. And I feel like he trapped her on some quarantine shit, the way a lot of women got trapped during quarantine. Like, I'm sorry. I know it takes two to tango, but if you're over here telling me left and right, I want to have your baby, I want to start a family with you, And we got married. That's another tea. They got married. Yeah, I'm not gonna be thinking that you're lying. Like, what the fuck? So I feel like he trapped her low-key. Let me know how y'all feel about that in the comments. So the baby is born and bro gets freaking worse. He's just wilding out. He's in the streets of NYC. Bumpa-da. He doesn't come home to help with the baby. When he does come home, he's just freaking arguing. Like, Julia even said she felt like a single parent already. So she's like, what am I even doing? He would go out in the street and tell random strangers how she's withholding his son from him, and she's like, you stupid man, like, come over here and be with your kid. Like, I'm not withholding shit. Like, what are you doing? It was a mess. It was a whole mess. But she did finally end up leaving him. She changed her lifestyle and he wasn't willing to change his. So it came to a point where she just started recording him when he did this type of stuff, because now you out in the street lying, talking about, I'm not letting you see your kid. Sir, no. So she starts recording him. She even, I don't know if y'all remember, she even made a Where's Waldo ass post for him, talking about, have you seen this deadbeat? Because he was running the streets of Manhattan, getting tore up and not being a dad. Like, just a whole bunch of public beef. She even like bashed his family too. Like, it was just a whole lot of talking about, you guys are absent, you're not helping. Like, it was a lot. So she did end up breaking up with that guy and moving back in with her dad, actually. And her dad turned out to be the best grandfather she ever like could imagine. Like, and sometimes it happens where people realize they fucked up with their kid and they view the grandchild as the second chance that they, you know, that they feel like they deserve or whatever to make things right. Now, in the future, he did end up getting his act together and they went, you know, custody. Now they co-parent, but the baby is still very young. My advice to Julia, if she is watching this, girl, if you're watching this, what the fuck? No, seriously though, like, or anybody in this situation, regardless of celebrity status or not, I would just keep all of the beef offline, especially when it comes to the kids. Like, just keep it offline. I know Julia was justifying it, like, I was desperate, I couldn't find him. Girl, call the police. Don't go to social media. Do a missing persons report. Don't go to social media. Like, hit up his auntie on Facebook. Don't go to social media. Like, I don't care. It's really not that justifiable to me. You wanted to be messy. You got what you got. You saw that in the past being messy was rewarding by exposing yourself, and you just did what you knew how to do. So it is what it is. Yeah, but as of right now, they're on cordial terms, raising their son, co-parenting. And I just read an article that came out this month, actually, talking about how she's very blessed to be able to choose her family and stuff like that. So she seems to be in a better place there, which is good, because the whole exposing the baby daddy and shit is, nah, bruh, I gotta chill.
So would you, because everyone's like, would you consider yourself Ye's muse?
So now let's get into the Kanye era, okay? Like, this is so cringe to me.
The man was being normal around me. And not only that, but the Kardashians, when I had a fashion line 10 years ago, they actually bought our clothes and sold them in their stores. And so I've always had, like, you know, like a love for Kim, especially, and like even Kourtney, especially, like all of them pretty much. But no, like the big three, Khloe, Kim, Kourtney, those are my girls. Anyway, so by the time me and him got together, it was like, he hadn't been doing anything, you know, like out there yet. The only thing he had done was change the name in the song and said, like, come back to me, Kimberly. That was like really the only thing when we met. But I remember just being like, he was texting me, I like wasn't really answering. I was like, I don't really want to like talk about the celebrity again. Like, nothing, you know what I mean? Nothing ever comes of it. It's like, they're kind of boring. Like, they're not what you think they're going to be like. But he kept going and going, and he was like, you have bad text etiquette. And then I was like, oh my God, Kanye's yelling at me. Like, what do I do? But then I had this thought, and I was like, oh my God, maybe I can get him off Kim's case. Like, maybe I can distract him, like just get him to like me. And I knew, I was like, if anyone can do it, it's me, because when I set my mind to something, I do it. And I will say that month that we spent together, he wasn't on Twitter, first of all. He wasn't on any forms of social media. He didn't even talk about his relationship. We only really talked about clothes and like weird ideas and plans for the future and our hopes and dreams for childhood and education. And like, it was really beautiful, guys. The moment he started tweeting, I was out. And that's the thing. It's like, the media reported on our relationship like a week after it happened or something. So during that week, I think you guys all thought we were together, but we weren't. I'd already been like, dude, I'm not going to stick around for this shit. And also I realized pretty quickly that he wasn't going to take my help. I was like, I want to help him. I want to help him. I sounded almost as dumb as you guys, saying that I should have done something to stop him from saying, like, what? But anyway, I was delusional. I thought I could help him. Anyway, it didn't work.
So how they met is through like a friend of a friend was like, hey, I got this rapper that wants to get to know you, blase, blase. I'm sure that his perverted ass knew her because she did these very, very raunchy photo shoot books. Like, and you know that Ye has a corn addiction, and it just all started to make sense to me now, because in the past I saw Julia Fox, I'm like, Uncut Gems and Kanye? She don't even look like what? Like, that don't make no damn sense. But now it does. Now it does, because he has an obsession with SWs. So boom, they meet up at the club or whatever, and she said they immediately just start making out and shit, and like, then they go to the back of the building and he like pisses on the wall because he's so drunk and tells her, you make me feel like I'm in high school. I'm like, ick, 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 ick. Kanye, ick. Like, brother. Another odd thing is he wanted to fly her out to Miami, and they flew to Miami and they met up and went to a Diddy party. She didn't say Diddy party, but she said it was like a Great Gatsby party thrown by a rapper, and you have to wear white. I wonder who that could be. Like, yo. And she did say, like, yeah, things got a little freaky over there. Like, and she is very open sexually. So, rightfully so, she just had a baby. So, every once in a while, she would be like, damn, I want to be with my son. Like, but I got to get this bag, bitch. And I feel you, girl. She said, I got to keep this bag going. Like,
Kanye West and Julia Fox have confirmed they are dating. The 31-year-old Uncut Gems actress and 44-year-old rapper shared their budding romance with the world on Thursday, with PDA-heavy photos published in Interview. In addition to some photos of the couple intimately embracing and kissing on the floor of a dressing room, Fox revealed details about their whirlwind romance. She wrote for the publication, quote, I met Ye in Miami on New Year's Eve, and it was an instant connection. She added that his energy is so fun to be around, and that he had her and her friends laughing, dancing, and smiling all night. A source previously told People that Fox was very happy to be there, adding, he was excited she was there, and they are fully going out after. In the interview piece, Fox also writes, everything with us has been so organic. I don't know where things are headed, but if this is any indication of the future, I'm loving the ride.
The paparazzi already got pictures of her at this point, but now she's starting to realize that Kanye is very calculated. Like, he planned all this shit. Like, the whole, oh, I'm just dating him so that he would leave Kim alone. He contrived that up. He wrote that up for her to say. He dressed her up, made her wear all that weird shit. Like, she talked about how he would have like buckets of clothes, and not only did he do it to her, but he did it to her friends as well. Remember the fashion designer friends that lived when they were with the sugar daddy? Now they are hired by Yeezy. They work for Yeezy now. They're obviously like, this is great, we're coming up too. Everybody eats, everybody wins, right? So now he just asked her formally, like, would you like to be my girlfriend? She says, sure. Immediately the condescending shit starts. He over here talking about some, I need to get you a boob job. And she's like, I don't want a boob job. And he's like, Then he talks about how her friends are like too much. And she's like, you hired them. You wanted them to be around. He's like, yeah, but I don't know. And she's like, but you always have an entourage around, which, yeah, on some Kardashian shit, they always do have like 8 different types of posses around. So speaking of the friends, all of them signed NDAs except for Julia, so that's how she's even able to talk about this. They had one argument and Kanye ghosted her. And during this time, she was like, okay, fuck you too. I'm about to go hang out with my son. She went back to the city, you know, on her mommy ting, doing her things. And then her birthday was coming up. And that's when Yeezy was like, hey, you want to hang out for your birthday? And she said, sure. And that's where that infamous picture with her and her friends with the Birkins, because it was a publicity stunt.
From Kanye West. The couple stepped out in New York City on Wednesday night to celebrate the Uncut Gem star's birthday, and the pair couldn't keep their hands off of each other. Julia reposted new videos of herself on Instagram, blowing up the candles on multiple desserts, as Kanye and her friends cheered her on to celebrate her big day. The Donda rapper then snuggled up close to his new love while she made a wish on her birthday cake.
You can look Photoshop. Photoshop.
And then he went to that one restaurant, and after that restaurant and they took all the pictures, he was like, yeah, I'm ready to go. I don't want to be here. This is boring. On her birthday. This is boring, bitch. So they get into the car or whatever, and she said it was a silent ass car ride, and they just start arguing like a mess. So then they took another break. She was like, you know what, please, let's just do another ghost period because I can't do this shit, right? And during that time, she got hit up by Harmony Korine, the photographer and filmmaker, to do that infamous flight attendant photo shoot, right? And tell me why Yeezy saw that and he hit her up and was basically like, bro, those clothes are trash. You look ridiculous. Like, just berating this woman, bro. Just berating the fuck out of her. And she was just like, bro, fuck you. Like, what the fuck? And that's when she stopped talking to him. And later on, to completely end it with a bow, he gonna hit her up. Kim told me that you're an addict. Why didn't you tell me you were an addict? And I'm just thinking, coming from fucking Kanye, Mr. Nitrous, like, what? So he's just like, I'm the only one that could be high up in this bitch, basically. And she's like, dude, I did tell you, you're just so self-absorbed, you never listen to me when I talk. And in that moment, she realized, like, what am I doing? I need to be putting all this energy into my son, not no grown-ass man. Like, this is not it. This is not fucking it. And she called it off with him. She's like, bro, I'm done with you. Like, we are like done. Like, I'm done.
That part of why you dated him was to help Kim out.
Yeah.
And you did tell me that.
I know.
And I thought it was weird when you said that. I was like, yeah. Oh,
it
yeah.
makes sense.
It makes sense.
But also when you grow up watching someone on TV, you do develop this like parasocial relationship with them. And like,
yes,
you know what I mean? Like I was really like, oh,
helping
let
a
me help her back. And also like, I'm bipolar. This man is bipolar. Like maybe I can like help, you know? But people did not like that. I think because people automatically just want to assume that like I like knew what would happen. Like, first of all, I did not know that the man would meet me and then want to date and then make me his like mute. Like I didn't know any of that was going to happen. Like I genuinely went in it like, well, what's the worst that could happen?
She says she lost a brand deal with some jeans, a jean brand deal, because they said we only want to work with Kanye's girlfriend. And she noticed when Kanye started plugging in his current now wife, and that's when she was like, okay, we need to just dead this for real, because I'm not trying to be lingering. I'm not that type of girl. Like, so post breakup on some crazy shit, remember the two roomies that stayed with her with the sugar daddy apartment? One of them actually decided to stay in Kanye's camp despite all of that shit. She was like, girl, I gotta get it how I live. But another one was like, baby, I'm following you till the wheels fall off. And I feel you, because there are some people in this life that are just very lucky. And if you've made money with them, baby, I'm sticking by you. I'm not going to throw you to the dust. So yeah, that was the end of the Kanye era. So now we are going to wrap it up with the Brat era. What all of you guys pretty much know Julia for now today is being I'm So Julia, with the whole Kamala stuff, right? After her whole stunt with Kanye, she was very into fashion, runway modeling, influencing on TikTok, things like that. Writing a book, girl. Ooh, there you go. She is literally like the meme queen. For whatever reason, it just keeps happening over and over again.
What is a muse?
I mean, I was Josh Safdie's muse when he wrote Uncut Gems.
Right.
Got this look. This is like the look that haunts me. It's by designer Han Kobakabin. I don't know if I pronounced it right, but they are amazing. I did my own makeup this night. Very famously did it myself.
Is that you, or do you have a makeup artist who does that for you?
I actually did it myself. Yeah.
Nice.
When I say something, just like, you know, like I did my makeup myself and then it kind of takes off and becomes this like viral moment, I'm always really caught off guard because I just did my makeup myself. Like, what's the big deal? Start with my book, because I always carry one because I'm always giving it to people. When I called it a masterpiece, I actually had not written one word yet. And I didn't expect that soundbite to go so viral. So then it really turned the pressure up and then I had to deliver. And so far, I'm being told that it is, in fact, a masterpiece.
In February of 2024, she performed her debut song, which shares the same name as this Tampa. And she performed it at Charlie XCX's Boiler Room. This memoir is actually going to be developed into a TV series, which is insane. I cannot wait to see how that is going to turn out. And then on some other random stuff that's so Julia and very brat coded is that there was this TikTok that came out and this girl was like, "Aw, look at that lesbian with their boyfriend." Like, just so sad and clueless. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, that's me. In my Julia voice, that's me, guys." And just that, now Julia Fox is a lesbian. Now plastered everywhere. Julia Fox is a lesbian. Julia Fox is a lesbian. Here's my thing. After reading, I feel like sexuality is fluid and you can call yourself whatever the fuck you want. Julia Fox on social media, just from being in quarantine, has called herself BPD, bipolar, autistic, ADHD, like, she's called herself queer, all types of stuff. Like the song says, she's a mother, she's a bitch, you could be multiple things at once, okay? With that being said, she could be a lesbian.
So what do you think about your sister coming out?
Coming out here?
No, coming out of, didn't she say that she was, did she say she was a lesbian, your sister?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe. I wouldn't know, to be honest.
My opinion from reading this book, because this book came out before she came out, it was just very evident that she had strong emotional connections with women, like the same gender, because there would be times where, you know, she taking a bath with one of her girlfriends and she over here talking about her girlfriend's titties, or like, you know, she was looking through her man's phone and when she saw the threesome videos and shit, she was recollecting looking at the girls' bodies and like, oh man, she's so beautiful, why is she with him? Like, so I'm not gonna lie, like there were no bi tees, and then I saw her over here fucking a back page bit in Louisiana, okay? Like, I'm not saying she's scared of the cat, by no means. But what I am saying is she was also talking about Nicki Minaj coming off the top asbestos in here, which a lot of straight women don't even, you know, like, so I don't know. All I'm saying is baby be enjoying herself, okay? If y'all want to call her a lesbian, call her a lesbian. If she wants to identify as one, let her. All I'm saying is it's very evident she has same-sex attraction because, yeah, from a young age, too. I just didn't really feel comfortable getting into it in the childhood portion. But, yeah, that's the tea. Before I go, I wanted to touch on some things that were not mentioned in the book, whether because she just didn't want to put it in the book or because time passed. I'm not really sure. She did not talk about the messy apartment incident where I put it a little bit in the beginning of the video when I was talking about the hair dryer. Like, a lot of people were really upset about her apartment conditions, whether it was because they felt like she had too much money to be living that way or because they felt that the conditions in the house weren't safe for her kid. Like,
okay, I never thought in a million years that I would do this, but I do believe in maximum transparency. And so I'm going to give you guys an apartment tour.
Julia Fox, keeping it real.
Always keep it real.
Yeah, she's giving fans a peek inside her NYC apartment, which is surprisingly normal and kind of messy.
So we can start in my bedroom, which is the living room. So yeah, I put my bed here in the living room.
So maybe the bed in the living room isn't typical, but the actress explains it's to give her 2-year-old son Valentino more room to play.
So I could turn my bedroom into a little playroom for Valentino.
And she's got some furry residents too.
We do have a little small mouse problem, but you know, it's a problem depending on how you look at it. You know, I appreciate that they, at night while we're sleeping, come out and clean up the crumbs that my son drops on the floor. So yeah, I'm not gonna evict the mice anytime soon.
Next up on the tour, this very long hallway.
Nothing happens here, just more, it's Valentino's little daycare schedule, just more stuff. Richie, I love these photos.
Then Julia shares a glimpse of her New York-sized bathroom.
And this is just my little bathroom. It's very tiny, but you know, it does what it's supposed to do. This is my kitchen area. Don't judge me. I know, cotton candy machine. I know it's really messy. I also have shoe boxes in the kitchen, which is very common for New Yorkers.
But there's one room Julia says she put a little more thought into.
This is Valentino's room. I put the most effort in this room, I think. I put a little loft and don't like excessive displays of wealth. They make me feel icky, you know, especially people that have really big houses. It's just really wasteful when there's so many homeless people in this country. And like, I'm not really like that.
I would have also liked to hear a little bit about her celibacy journey and like her coming to terms with her sexuality.
But, you know, I think with the overturning of Roe v. Wade and, you know, our rights being stripped away from us, this is a way that I can take back the control. And it just sucks that it has to be in that way. But I just don't feel comfortable until things change.
Now, the last thing that is crazy that I really thought she was going to put in there was the thing that happened with her dad and her brother. Like, so they had ghost guns and eldrugas in their apartment. It was like a whole thing. Apparently her dad wasn't as involved as her brother was. Like, it's a mess. It's a mess.
This morning, a gun and drug bust on the Upper East Side. Police uncovered ghost guns and other illegal materials at the home of Christopher and Thomas Fox. They are the brother and father of actress Julia Fox.
This was part of a long-term investigation into ghost guns and narcotics, and the suspect is the brother of a famous actress. 30-year-old Christopher Fox is the brother of actress and model Julia Fox, known for her breakout role in Uncut Gems. In a 2019 interview, Fox called her brother a mad scientist type who likes to make 3D printers, but it's what police say he was making with those 3D printers that is disturbing. The NYPD's major case field intelligence team, acting on a tip from neighbors concerned about suspicious deliveries, raided Fox's apartment at 200 East 84th Street on Wednesday, confiscating illegal, untraceable ghost guns. Police say they also took narcotics and potentially explosive chemicals that can be used to make narcotics. Fox's father was also home. He was held for some time, but not charged. The younger Fox now facing a list of charges, including criminal possession of a weapon, criminal possession of a controlled substance. He's even charged with manufacture of a machine gun. Police say that they do not believe terrorism was involved.
My final verdict on this book, I would highly recommend reading this yourself. It's so odd that I'm even about to say this, but it's just, especially because she's older than me, but it just reminds me so much of myself. Like, I went through a lot of these phases. I just didn't get a fucking sugar daddy, and I'm not hard body enough to be a dom, but this is just very inspiring for like the diamond in the rough ass person who just never thought you would be able to be shit. Like, I never thought I would be doing this YouTube shit. Like, not YouTube shit, girl. Oh my God. I never thought I would have this YouTube gig. That sounds better. And I'm pretty sure she never expected to have the type of outcome she had either. And like, just the whole being young and exposed to El Durugas early, having absent parents, being from the city, the having friends overdosing. Oh my God, I was actually tearing up crying at the part of the book when Gianna overdosed, and they went and they cleaned up her apartment and they took her gun and they just rode around looking for the guy that sold it to her. And that shit just like touched me, bro. Like, where you just feel so hopeless and you want to make somebody responsible, you know. And that was just so fucking sad, bro. This was a very good read. I would also recommend an audiobook. She has an audiobook of this if you're not one of those people that could, you know, very good read. Let me know what you guys would like me to read next. This is crazy. Like, I can't even. Thank you guys so much for being patient with me. I know it took me a while to roll this out. It took me a while to record this, child. I gotta go grocery shopping. Please like this video on the way out, and please check out my other book reviews. I reviewed RuPaul's Memoir maybe like a month and a half, 2 months ago. Please go and check that out, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.